It's Ray Give TV.
In the block.
Let's get right to it.
Where's the transcripts at? This is our first example of the 2 transcripts released into the Big U Enterprise from Loose Cannon's paperwork. Ping up, share the room, about to get into it, y'all. Salute. Salute Honey and T South for the takeover. Let's go, y'all.
Let's get it.
So here go the thing, right? So when I'm reading this, right? When I'm reading this shit right here, the reason for holding, right? Let's go over nature of the offense. Okay, let's pay attention to that. Nature of the offense and defendant's role in the alleged extortion robberies, right? The 2 active protective orders, that's something else, and something in January 25, that's something else. Now, this is what with me goes. It says that 30 minutes after the robbery, the dude came to Big U house. And then Big U gave him some of the proceedings of the robbery. So, was this really a robbery on Dale, who was being extorted on many other occasions? This situation isolating it to Loose Cannon. We don't have Luce going to collect any money from Dale. That was like Vade doing the majority of that over the years. So in this situation, how do you tie Loose Cannon to an extortion robbery when the individual himself got paid proceedings from the robbery?
Because they stand, right? When you look into the paperwork, right? Like when we went over the paperwork, it says the reason for this robbery, this particular robbery that Loose Cannon is charged with, was extortion. It was because Dale stopped paying that tax. So
Stop
since
right
Dale
there.
stopped,
Let me make sure I'm understanding this slapping shit. So you're saying, this is what you're saying. Dale stopped answering the phone, paying the tax. You talking about the $25,000 a month?
Yeah. I think it was $25,000 a month. It was something like that.
You're saying because he stopped answering the phone and stopped paying the tax, that a robbery was put together on his spot. And then you're saying he was called. Okay, if you ain't paying and you ain't answering the phone, why would you answer to come to a nigga house after a robbery if you not part of the robbery?
Well, see, I don't think it was a call to his phone, and y'all just correct me on this if I'm wrong.
So that's where
I think it says that somebody put him on their phone with Big U.
That's where he got put on the phone with one of the robbers at the dispensary, Wack.
Okay, so that made him come to the house, is what you're saying.
I mean,
So
that's
the
what
nigga-
he's saying.
That's what he's saying.
The nigga that ain't been answering the phone, stop paying. Okay, so while the robbery's been happening, they give him the phone and whatever's said. So you saying that scared him to like, okay, I'm coming. That's what we hearing?
That's the way Dale explaining it.
Okay, yeah, because I missed, because I'm wondering, like, well, if this nigga showed up to the house after the robbery and got some of the proceeds, my next thing was, did he take these proceeds and turn them into the feds to be, you know what I'm saying, stamped as, hey, this is the things that they gave me back for the robbery, or did he take those proceeds and use them for his own person?
Now, see, that's where it get tricky at. Now, when trial get to come in and they start giving the defense they evidence that that the prosecution gonna use and shit, who knows? That might be some of the evidence they have. It might not be, but if it is some of the evidence, that's crazy.
Now, if let's just say the robbery happened, Dale ain't answer the phone, boom. All right, robbery happens. They show up, nigga pass him the phone. Yeah, nigga, not answering the phone. You want some of this back? Pull up to the house. He pulls up to the house. From what they say in the paperwork, Big U says, see, this is what's throwing me. Big U's words in the documents are, now that's how you rob yourself. This is why I'm saying, like, okay, was the nigga involved or was he not involved? He said, now that's how you robbed yourself, and handed Dale some of the proceeds. So let's just say Big U was talking. Dale had no idea what this nigga was talking about. If Dale didn't take the proceeds and check them in to the feds as this is what they gave me back from the robbery, how does that affect the case?
I don't think it affects the case none, to be honest with you.
So if he kept the proceeds and just spent them himself?
Yeah, I don't think it affects the case none, because at the end of the day, he still got robbed because he didn't get everything back. He only got a portion of what was taken from him. You see what I'm saying?
But because you got to remember, there was never a police report filed because the dispensary is illegal.
Too.
So, unless, do they have video footage of the robbery? Prince, any mention of some video footage and the loose cannon side?
No mention of video footage, just mention that they came in without masks. And he could identify them.
Oh.
He said 9 individuals came without masks, and the ones he could identify was Robinson and Williams.
He said 9 individuals came without masks, and the ones he could identify was Robinson and Williams.
Oh, so we got a wild card in there.
Mm-hmm.
Robinson. So I wonder if Robinson collaborated the story. We can't get none of his shit, huh?
I got his shit too. What you need?
We got Robinson's personal shit?
But see, his shit is just a $15,000 bail shit.
There's no profit or nothing on him.
I already checked. No 5K1, no nothing. No downward departure, nothing of that. Not at this point. It's too early. It's just that bail.
Damn. That's crazy. Rakita, send no jumper that money. I sent you they cash out, right? I'll send it right now. Damn, that's crazy. Yeah, this shit getting crazy right now.
Yeah, it is getting crazy.
So I think the wild card and loose case, correct me if I'm wrong, Ghost, I believe is Robinson. Because if dude identified Robinson and Luce, and we know Robinson been picked up already.
Right.
Because Robinson is, nigga, he the one go picking up every day. If Robinson collaborates Dale's story, that's a problem. Huh?
So Ghost and Wack, in the paperwork, it says that they corroborated Dale's story with the wiretap conversation between Henley and Robinson, talking about adding Monster to the extortion scheme, basically giving him the kickback. So having that same discussion of, hey, whatever you bring us, I'll give you a kickback up with Robinson. They got that conversation of saying, hey, this happened because Dale told us that he was kicking up as well. So the loose cannon interview corroborated the Dale story, and then the Dale story got corroborated with the Henley and Robinson.
That's another thing.
Corroboration, yep.
That's another thing. Did Dale already tell his story prior to or after Loose Cannon said what he said on No Jumper?
Well, I think Prince pointed this out the other day. I think the way it's worded in the paperwork is if Loose Cannon basically corroborated it after he did the No Jumper interview.
And we're getting that from the paperwork that says later on this story was corroborated, this robbery was corroborated by Williams on a podcast. It says later on this was corroborated, which means to us that he told that story already, and then they hear that story corroborated, and then we also have another corroborated piece of evidence: the phone call between Haley and Robinson talking about Dale getting paid off of some of the dispensaries that he brings to them to get robbed.
Facts.
So he's a part of the enterprise by being added to at that phone conversation at his house.
Well, no. I think he offered him that. He said,
Right.
He told Dale, "We'll give you 10,000 for every other dispensary you bring to us." Now, see, this was tricky about that. Are they playing with the word and saying this robbery happened because of the 25,000 stop being paid, or are they saying Dale collaborated with Big U as another option of payment to rob the dispensary that he's probably a partner in, and he's not gonna feel it because everything in there he ain't responsible for when it comes down to the financial side? You get what I'm saying? Even with that,
I see where you're going.
Yeah, even with that, it still could be, because they're gonna say he did it out of fear.
You're right. So it's the latter, but they're using a little bit of the former to argue it all, right? They're saying that the whole robbery happened because the discussion happened on the phone between Healy and Robinson talking about kicking up. So when Dale talks about the robbery happened, and then at the house we talked about kicking up, they're saying because kicking up matches kicking up, the whole robbery happened. So anything Dale says about the robbery is true, is corroborated. That's what they're saying.
Gotcha.
Right? It's just a kicking up conversation. That's the point. It's nothing else about the robbery that anybody else corroborates, though. They don't have any video evidence or anybody else at this point saying that they was at that dispensary, robbed those people. That's why we need to wait for who? Anything Robinson said. Because he's the only other person that, quote unquote, didn't have a mask that was there that committed the robbery according to the witness who was there. So without no video, then who can say that they committed that robbery? Who was there?
Well,
He named two people.
This is why I think Robinson is a wild card. Because if you got Dale who's saying what he's saying, and then he's saying, well, it was 9 people, I can identify 2. And he identifies Williams and Robinson. They snatched Robinson because he's all through there with the murder, remember? I believe he's the one that told them they got the call and left LA going to Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's the only one could identify that. Big U ain't gonna tell him that. Only motherfucker could tell him when they left is motherfucking Robinson. And then the security could tell him when they pulled up. That's when the security pulled the gun because he didn't expect anybody. And if they questioned him, remember they took his DNA too. That's in the paperwork. They took his DNA to see if his DNA was on Rayshawn Williams' body. That's in there too. His came back negative.
Right.
So I'm pretty damn sure they said we got you on 20, 30, 40 counts of extortion, aiding in the bed and this, that. We don't know if you were involved in the murder, but we know you drove him. We got reason, but did you know he was going out there to do that? You know the question they coming at him with, right?
Right.
So you know they asked him, were you at this robbery? He identified you and him. Was this person with you? That's the wild card.
You ready for the other wild card? What's his bail amount?
Whose?
Sylvester Robinson, Vay. Looking at it right now.
I don't know. I just know. I know
tell
he
you
had
right
bail
now.
with stipulations. What was it?
15,000.
Oh shit.
Like 15,000 was the total, or 150,000 with 10%?
What I say, Ghost?
God damn.
So did he have to give up the whole 15, or he had to give a percentage of that?
10% of 15,000 is what, 1,500?
God damn.
It's just, yo, custody status. Defendant is not in custody. Date and time of arrest on complaint. 3/19/25 at 6 a.m. Posted bond at complaint level on 3/19/25. Any amount of 15,000.
Be sure to keep that notification bell turned on. I will deliver the content 24/7 around the clock. You already know. Man, oh man, I looking good for Cannon. Came in barefaced gang. What? Wow. Got to be more careful, man. Stay out the way. Real talk. But until next time, it's your boy Ray Given. I'm gone. God bless. Peace.